However, that does not mean that a child may not have to relate his vision to his mother, because what Yusuf created was also completed in terms of rescuing the Bani Israel that Yusuf took to Egypt from Pharaoh by Musa alayhi salatu wasalam. And then while the mother of Yusuf was not mentioned throughout, but every woman that Yusuf encountered wanted a relationship with him and put him into trouble. Every woman that Musa alayhi salam encountered, starting from his mother, was a source of benefit for him. Therefore, sometimes the hero may be the child of his mother. So the hero, the man of mission and vision, the man of vision rather and mission, may be a woman's son, like Musa. If you are Musa, his father was alive apparently. His father played no role. It was his mother that Allah sent the message to, that we are going to make him a prophet, a messenger, and he's going to rescue the Bani Israel. And his mother also managed this vision and mission. She didn't disclose. Although, as an emotional person, being a woman, she was almost going to disclose, but Allah stopped her when she was given back her son after the trouble. So we're going to look at Suratul Qasas after this Suratul Yusuf to see situations that may make your mother or a woman to manage your vision. But in this case, where the father is a prophet, is a teacher, is sufficiently qualified to manage the vision, the father it is. Sometimes the mother may be more intelligent, more calm, more efficiently and eminently qualified to be the manager of the vision of the child. In that case, you don't get it wrong that, yeah, we are. My father cannot manage my mission and vision. What do I do? So you have to look for a vision manager, but it must be your parent, and it must be somebody your parent will nominate. Like when we read Musa's story, we find that Musa's mother nominated his sister to follow him. So we have to make this clarification very clearly before we move on. And we don't want anybody to misunderstand the thesis that a man is more eminently qualified, suitably conditioned to manage the vision of his son, rather than the mother, because the mother, on the average, is an emotional being. But there are men like women. There are men who are in every tendency like women, who are also emotional like women, and who can, in fact, damage the vision of their children like a woman may be able to. But there are exceptional women that can manage vision better than ordinary men. I'm sorry. We learned also that in managing somebody's mission, you must apply confidentiality. You don't disclose information that you have. You classify information. Yaqub alayhi salatu wasalam seemed to know that the brothers of Yusuf wanted to take him out and deal with him. And he told them practically what was on their mind, and they fell for it. So when they came back, they told him that what he feared would happen to Yusuf actually happened to him. A wolf ate him. But instead of arguing with them, despite the fact that he knew that they were lying, instead of telling them that, hey boys, why are you lying? He didn't talk. He said, Sawalat lakum anfusukum. This is what your mind beautified for you. For sabrun jamil, but patience is beautiful. So he didn't disclose that I know what you're saying. Why? Because he knew as a prophet of Allah and as a vision and mission manager that the mission cannot mature for fulfillment and for prosecution unless there is hijrah. He could never have fulfilled his mission right in the presence of his father. He has to detach. He must leave. He must leave the environment of the father. He must live apart from the father. He must separate for a while from the father. Although what Allah wants is that father, mother, and children must live together, except the daughters of the family who must go and live with their own husband and establish their own family. What Allah wants and what we read here is that all the male children were together with their father, especially when the father got old. So the father, an old man, should not be worried, anxious, and should not suffer any pain looking for his children, his male children at old age. An old man is not to die alone. That is a topic for another day. But we can see that they were all living together. So 3, we can see also that this father protected his son 3 times. The first time was when they were taking him away, and he did not stop them. He knew there was danger. He knew they were going to deal with him. But he didn't want them to kill him, so he said, wolf may eat him. And so they came back and said it was wolf that ate him. But he knew that he was not dead. Yet he expressed grief over the dead, apparently, the fake dead Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam. So the second time, we will get there. So the point we want to make now is that hijrah is a process. It's a point, a very critical point in the process of fulfilling your mission based on a clear vision. So Yusuf made hijrah away from Palestine into Egypt. And then this vision will now begin to translate into a mission after hijrah. And you will see that it was after the hijrah of Musa and Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam that their mission became securely established. There will be new people. You'll be a new person in the new environment. If you were born in a place and you live all your life in that place, you are not a man of vision and you will not have any mission. You will live and die like any other person will live and die in that environment. It is compulsory that you must live where you were born if you are truly a great person. And I'm not aware of any great person in history or in our contemporary existence that has succeeded mightily, living all his life where he was born. You must leave. You must detach. We want to stop there and move forward. That it is this that Lord determines all his troubles, all his struggles. Let's quickly resume our discussion. So Allah says they sold him and he became a slave in the household of the Aziz. Ayah 21. وقال الذي اشتراه من مصر لامرأته. And the one from Egypt who bought him said to his wife, you can see, there is no way a man of great vision and mission will not be distinguished. He was a slave, but you will see now how the particular greatness in him was recognized by both husband and wife. They saw a slave, but they saw something beyond being a slave in him. It doesn't matter whether you reduce to the slave status, in which case you have no freedom. That is the slave status, in which case you have no opinion, in which case you are just like the property of others, and it can manifest in any way. A situation where you are a slave, where somebody else owns you, somebody determines what happens to you. You work and you don't earn. That is slavery. You are owned by somebody. That person determines your time. It determines your energy. It determines everything about you. You have no freedom. And you work, you labor, and you are not paid. Even if you are paid in a way, it does not pay. Your pay does not pay. I don't know which aspect of your life today you want to consider as the life of slavery. I think schooling is slavery. But you go to school, you work hard, and there is nothing for you. It could be prison for some other people, but it is slavery because everybody is equal, owned by their parents, owned by schools. When you are in school, the school authorities own you. When you are at home, your parents own you. You are in their custody and they are fully responsible for everything about you. When you are in school, your parents have transferred authority and custody to the school, and the school entirely own you. And there are other instances and situations that make an adult out of school a slave. You could be a slave to your culture, you could be a slave to your family, you could be a slave to your job, you could be a slave wherever. So it's a process in vision and mission management. You will reach a stage in life when you are owned by others and everything about your life is determined by others. But somebody must know that there is a spark of greatness in you, and it should spark response from those who own you. They must treat you differently. They must spot greatness in you. They must spot uniqueness in you. So he said, Akrimi mathwahu asa an yamfa'ana aw nattakhizahu walada. 3 statements. 1, make his residence comfortable. Honor him. Akrimi. Honor him. Mathwa'ahu. Honor his residence. Make him comfortable. 2, asa an yamfa'ana. It may be useful to us. I have seen that this is a special slave. Slave he is, right? But I think that it will be useful to us. 3, أو نتخذه ولد, or we could adopt him as a child. We plug him into the family. We transfer form him into a child. Allahu Akbar. So if you're great, you must have the characteristics of attracting others. You must have the characteristics of everybody wanting to be part of you, everybody wanting a relationship with you, everybody wanting to own you, everybody wanting to be a part of your family, you know. So he said, وَكَذَلِكَ مَكَانَ لِيُوسُفَ فِي الْأَرْضِ, and this is how we establish Yusuf in the land. وَلِنُعَلِّمَهُ مِنْ تَأْوِيلِ الْأَحَادِيثِ, and so that we would teach him the meaning and interpretation of events. You know, Allah uses ahadith, not only dreams now, but events. So that a great person must not just look at events from the perspective of the public. A great person must be able to interpret events, dreams, visions, and missions of others from a unique perspective. There must be interpretation. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. It's a security matter, I'm sorry. We see that Yusuf was made to be a slave, yet to have a special attribute, a special gift from Allah, that of interpretation of the events. And this is what in Islam is called fikr. When you do fikr, you have the opportunity of interpreting events. This is what Islam teaches everybody to do. And this is an attribute every Muslim must adopt in his life. Fiqh. You must be meditating, you must be contemplating, and that is what is going to make it easy for you to interpret events. You have to connect. You have to accept anything that Allah allows to happen to you. Then you have to connect whatever is happening to you to whatever is going to happen to you in future. You have to do for you happen to you now. So whatever is happening to you now is for the sake of a future that is certainly secure. So the Aziz told his wife, we may adopt him, and Allah use this disposition of the master of Yusuf to establish Yusuf. The disposition of liking him, wanting to make his stay comfortable, meant establishing him as a great interpreter, analyzer of society. He became a social critic, a social interpreter, a teacher of the society. So Allah says, Wallahu ghalibun ala amrihi walakin akthara an-nas la ya'lamun. I don't want to do any tafsir. Allah now says, and Allah is triumphant, predominant over his affairs. What his brothers didn't want, Allah is now making to happen. His brothers didn't want him to be a great man. They didn't want to suffer the hassle, the pressure, the ignominy of being preferred. You know, Yusuf was preferred to them, and they didn't like it. No, so they sold him, they threw him away, they thought they had eliminated him. And this is what is going to happen to every great man or woman. There will be a time out of envy, your family, your siblings, like in the case of Yusuf now, all the 11 brothers, conspired against one person because he was greater than them. And they thought that they had eliminated him. And then the one that is being envied, that is being eliminated, at the point is being envied and eliminated, he will suffer. If the people that envy him and attempted to eliminate him, if they actually were around, they will be happy with his or her suffering. It's natural. If they know that, for example, in Yoruba land, what we know they do is to send spiritual missiles to one person in the family that is greater than them. What we also know is that they visit Divya, they visit Babalawo, they visit pastors, they visit malams to determine the future of everybody. Sometimes in a polygamous marriage, in African and Yoruba setting especially, one of the wives that also has children will run around to find out about the future of our own children in relation to the future of the children of our co-wives. And once they know that this person is going to be greater than their own children, the next thing is to send spiritual missiles against him or her. This is quite perfect. This is quite natural. This is quite in order. It is not strange. It is not bad. It is just quite natural that there will be envy, and they will try to see that they eliminate the person that is greater than them by all means. Nobody will envy you if you are on the same level. Like I said in the morning, if you are walking side by side with someone, he won't see you. He won't see anything to criticize in you. If you are walking behind somebody, that means that person is ahead of you. Yeah, the person that is ahead of you cannot see you because he will not be able to afford looking back in order not to fall. And you can only criticize somebody that is up, they are looking up to, or that is ahead of you, that is in front of you. And if you are being criticized, if you are a great person, you won't be distracted by criticism because distraction by criticism is looking back at those that you are ahead of, then you become their equal. Looking back will slow you down. So don't worry. It is natural that you will be degraded, you will be put down by your enemies. These enemies will be worse if they are members of your family. Don't worry. It is normal. It is part of the process of the journey to greatness. It will be very rough, and nobody will reach there without passing through this stage. So Allah says, He triumphed over His army, that what they didn't want is now going to happen. They didn't want him to be great, that's why they eliminated him. But they pushed him, like the Yorubas would say, Ale ni kolure lomaraye. They pursue you. You are wondering what Ale ni kolure means. Okay. They are human beings, are people who pursue you so that you now clash with goodness, good fortune. If they don't pursue you, you won't reach your good fortune. There's another proverb. Maybe mommy can borrow me that proverb. That simply translates into if there is no hardship, there is no success. And Adaniloro, fagbara koni. Adaniloro fagbara koni. Adaniloro means somebody who wickedly maltreats you.
Ìyá ọjọ́ ọlọ́gbọ́n sà. Ìyá ọjọ́ ọlọ́gbọ́n.
Ìyá ọjọ́ ọlọ́gbọ́n tan teacher. Okay, thank you. That's the third one. Well, let us explain Adaniloro fagbara koni. Adaniloro is somebody who treats you wickedly, who maltreats you viciously. An attempt to get out of this wicked act will strengthen you. Like if they throw you into a ditch, you'll be attempting to come out of the ditch, and that will teach you the skill of getting out of a ditch that you may enter in future inadvertently. Even the Yorubas know these things. And like the one Dr. Architect Imam said, it is quite natural. So you should not bother when you are passing through this stage. So we want to take one or two more and then we listen to one another. ولما بلغ أشده آتيناه حكما وعلما وكذلك نجزي المحسنين. This is the third stage. First stage, degrading. Second stage, Ijra. And Ijra means being established. Tyranny. Becoming a slave. It is also part of the degrading. In fact, Ijra is also part of degrading because once you do Ijra, you become a stranger in a new place. And then nobody truly likes to be detached from a place which has become his comfort zone. Even if you go abroad to learn and work, you will still find it not quite funny. That yes, you may be making more money than what you may make in Nigeria, but you will not be as comfortable as will have been if you are in Nigeria among your own people and with your own family. Those of us who are just a little far away from our comfort zone, we sometimes regret not being at home. For example, I must confess, I wasn't quite happy yesterday that my brother Qasim Alabi lost his dear mother, and I wasn't able to participate at the janazah because the distance is too much and circumstances that surround us in Nigeria today did not make it easy. You know, to solidarize with your people, to be physically present. When my brother Buwad lost his son, I cried like a baby. Not just because it pained me, yes, it did, but I wasn't there. I wasn't able to physically, allow him to cry on my neck so that we can cry together. These things are part of what you lose when you do Ijra, but it doesn't matter. The next stage, which is either the fourth or the fifth, is acquiring knowledge and wisdom. So, but nobody is a man of wisdom and knowledge until you have reached bulugh. All this while, he was a boy. Another says, "Walamma balaga shudda," when he reached maturity, we gave him two things. Take note, he was a slave. He didn't go to school, but he needed two things that are no longer acquirable in school. That should have been product of schooling, but which are now absent in school. Ikma, wisdom. We send children to school, they don't even know simple way of greeting people. They don't know who to greet and how to greet. They don't even know. They don't know proper. For example, I'm not talking about anybody in this place and they can't even see you. Don't worry. Nobody can see you. They don't even know simple proverb. They don't know the attitude, the culture of their people because they have gone to school. They have been launched into a new environment, a new thinking, a new orientation, a new culture. So Allah gave him, we gave him wisdom, judgment. Hukm is wisdom to judge, to discern, to distinguish, to evaluate, and ilm and knowledge. Knowledge to know what is right and what is wrong. There is no value for knowledge except to make you know what is right and what is wrong. Any knowledge that does not lead to faith in knowing and doing what is right and avoiding what is wrong is not knowledge. Even if you're a professor that sleeps with his female children, female students, and collects money from his male students does not have knowledge. If he has knowledge, you will know that he is a surrogate parent to these children. So, no matter what level of knowledge you have, you are not different from shaitan if your knowledge does not lead you into doing good and avoiding evil. Now, let's look at the effect of this ikma and ilma. The ukman and ilman that Allah gave him saved him, became useful to be deployed into appropriate response, appropriate attitude, appropriate reaction, appropriate interaction with the wife of his master who fell in love with him. It is the hukman, the wisdom to judge that made him know that none of this is wrong. If he had yielded to the passion pressure of the wife of his master, he would still have remained a slave. His food ration would be increased, but he would not change from being a slave. He will only become a sex doll, a sex toy. So the woman would be calling him anytime she wanted sex with him, but he would still have remained a slave. So what happened? Well, وَوَرَدَّتْهُ الَّتِي وَفِي بَيْتِهَا عَنْ نَفْسِهِ, and the woman in whose house he was seduced him. وَغَلَبَتِ الْأَبْوَابِ, she closed the door. وَقَالَتْ, and said, هَيْتَ لَكَ, come, you come. He didn't say come. She said, you come. Come, you. Meaning, come and do. And what is the man of wisdom, hukman, and ilm? What did he do? He didn't say opportunity, beautiful woman. He didn't say how much agree. What did he say? He said, قال معاذ الله إنه ربي أحسن مثواي إنه لا يفلح الظالمون. He said, no, I seek refuge in Allah. He prayed. He said, I seek refuge in Allah. 2, indeed, He is my master, who has made good my residence. Indeed, wrongdoers will not succeed. Can you imagine the implication of this? He has interpreted the situation. Is either he's referring to Allah as his Rabb, or he's referring to the husband of the woman who wanted inappropriate relationship with him as his Rabb. So he said, I seek refuge in Allah. Your husband is my master who has made my residence comfortable. I was there when he told you to make me comfortable. This is zulm. If I do what you want and please you, I will displease Allah and I will displease your husband. And wrongdoers will not succeed. He cursed that situation. He placed a curse on that situation. What will a foolish boy, what will he do? He will think it's an opportunity. You will pass this stage of passion. As a human being, you want relationship. As a human being, you want to enjoy sex. But as a great person, you have to moderate it. As a great person, you have to distinguish between this sex, irresponsible sex, and marriage. You have to say no to committing zina. Allah now says, don't think that Joseph والسلام, was an extraordinary human being. Allah says, indeed, certainly, وَلَقَدْ أَمَّتْ بِهِ, she was attracted to him. Therefore, she was violently passionate about having this relationship with him. وَأَمَّا بِهَا, and he also responded as a human being. So what happened? لَوْلَا أَرَى بُرْهَانَ رَبِّهِ, if it is not because he has seen proof from his Lord. He remembered his vision. This is not where I'm going. It is not time for this. Yes. When it is time, when I reach where I'm going, I will have plenty. Don't truncate your ambition, your vision, your dream with promiscuity, with sex. If you must have sex, marry. Don't test it. Don't taste it. Don't enjoy it temporarily. Don't test it. Don't test her. Women will certainly find you out as a man, and men will rush you as a woman. Don't give in. Don't enjoy it. Wait. And place a curse on that kind of action. Even after marriage, it will happen. Because Allah will make both male and female see what you don't see about yourself. And their own interpretation is there must be a relationship with this person. Don't allow it to happen. So you must be strong. So Allah now says, if we have not given him Quran min Rabbi'i, كذلك نصرف عنه السوء والفحشاء إنه من عبادنا المخلصين. And she certainly, and thus we should avert from him evil and immorality. Sui wal fasha. So Allah covered him, Allah protected him from this. Once you get dirty, the future is not going to fix. You must avoid being dirty when you are young. And this is where we are going to stop. Allah says, Innahu min ibadina al-mukhlasin. He was our servant that was chosen. So if Allah chose you, you must be extra careful. Go extra mile to maintain your virginity as a man or as a woman. There is no doubt. People will spot you. People will discover what you don't know about yourself. And people will like you. But you must not. You must not give in to passion. I want to listen to you now in the next few minutes so that we can continue this conversation for 10 or so minutes before we stop, inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
May Allah continue to bless you for us. May Allah continue to serve
Amen.
on every one of us. Amen. The thing I can also observe in the reading tonight is in the last part where Yusuf Alisa said, "Indeed, he is my master, who has made good my residence. Indeed, rock dwellers not succeed." I can spot him identifying ingratitude too in the act. If he had committed zina with the woman, that would have been also ingratitude to his master, who has made him convenient in his own home. Even though it's a wrongdoing generally known, but it will also have amounted to ingratitude to his master. So loyalty is also key in managing one's vision, and one must also identify that one must always be grateful and must neglect, must ingratitude. Assalamu
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. That's quite excellent. Thank you very much, Idris Bangbelu. Any sister? I can see many of my daughters tonight. I saw them too last week. I woke up. Like Mariam, like Marufa. Aren't you going to talk? Children, talk now. Nothing to say. We still have up to 9 minutes. Is it that I confused you tonight? Yeah. The most difficult stage to navigate is that stage of passion. Because we are human beings. You fall in love, he will fall in love, she will fall in love. But Allah taught us through Yusuf to control that, to wait, not to be ungrateful. All right. Muhib Mohammed. Muhib, are you talking? Is Muhib talking? I can't hear you. All right. If no children are interested in responding, can one parent or life coach say something so that we can close tonight? Or ask questions? Okay, from home. Any comment? Question? Oh yeah, come and ask your question. Come and ask.
So in the case of if the father is absent, who should speak to the child's dream?
If the father is absent, who should see to the child's dream?
Dad and mother is
If the child has elder brother who is reasonably endowed, to see to it. Somebody is suggesting that we change the style of communication. Is it in
Assalamu
terms
alaikum wa
of
rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
alaikum salam? Is it my language or whatever? Let me know precisely. Change the style of communication to ensure them interact. So you can expatiate. Are we changing from English to Yoruba or what? Or we are changing? I don't know. I don't understand. Yeah. Alaikum salam. Oh, yeah, now.
Okay, sorry, Imam. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continue to increase you in hikmah, sir. The question I want to ask, you made mention of we men keeping our virginity. When you said that, a lot of us here, we started laughing. Yes, it was funny because it's the first time I'll be hearing where they are speaking to men directly that way. But now, in a situation whereby we are young, we wish to marry early. Early marriage is good in Islam, but we are not able to due to financial reasons and all. And someone is sexually acting, says that you're having this sexual feeling. How do you manage your sexual feeling during the day? I know of the hadith of the Prophet that talks about one fasting, especially when you are young like this. Now, imagine a situation where we are not always fasting every day. You find yourself in an environment where the ladies are almost naked. Maybe due to one reason or the other, you're always there. What is the Islamic ruling on managing oneself? And what does Islam say about masturbation? Jazakumullah khairan, ya Imam.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Did I hear masturbation?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's the last word, but
Yes,
all
sir.
right. Basically, um, what you must avoid is zina. If you can marry, it is the responsibility of your parent to marry for you. If you have this problem, marriage is the solution. However, there's going to be a small problem here. In fact, three small problems. Number one, are you going to do nikah or marriage ceremony? Number two, what do you need money for? Is it to feed and house the wife or to do marriage ceremony? And rent a big house and so on and so forth. Number three, what do you want? Marriage for sex or for show? The three are related. If you want marriage for show, it means you are looking for a graduate like you. And then the marriage ceremony is going to be expensive. And that is why financial constraint will stop you from getting married. And similarly, do you want? Is it marriage or marriage ceremony? If it is marriage, you don't need much. Your dad needs to just give you accommodation, a place that can house you and your wife for a while, for a start. And then you do the kind not marriage ceremony. And what does it cost? Just 5 people. Marriage is done. You, the woman you want to marry, your father, the woman's father, no matter, and 2 witnesses. A witness from your side, a witness from our side. In fact, the 6th person here is your own father. That is not absolutely compulsory. It is our own father that is absolutely compulsory. Our own father is the wali. Your own father is wakil. Wakil is there to guide the marriage. But where the boy is a man, he does not need wakil. The wakil is wakil, it's just wakil. But the wali is wali. Wali is the one that gives out the woman in marriage. Wakil is the one that accepts the woman on behalf of the son. So by the time you are just 7, you are from a crowd in a marriage. And then 7,000 will do the walima. Because the sadaki can be postponed. And then the walima is just an announcement that you have done nikah. Nikah is different from walima. Nikah is just a statement to marry the woman and an answer to a question. Have you paid sadaki? Will you pay? What? How much? When are you going to pay? So it is not compulsory that you pay sadaki even that day. If the girl is asking for 500,000, which is minimum now, it's not from any authority. It's from my own. It's from my own mouth. Not only my mouth talk. If my daughter is marrying today, the minimum I will ask her to ask for is 0.5 million, minimum 0.5 million. But if my son is marrying, I will preach to them. May Allah forgive all of us. Yo, are you laughing? They can see your laughter. Okay, somebody is trying to distract me here. On a very serious note, brothers and sisters in the last game, this thing is not difficult, except that you are making it difficult. So, as for masturbation, if you cannot marry, it is not a subject for public discourse. I have not read any of this, but the general principle of Islam is whatever is not expressly condemned, it is tacitly allowed. If it is not expressly called haram, then it is tacitly allowed. If it is not zina, then it is not zina. However, some of those things have their psychological effect on people. We won't talk about it in public so as not to allow indulgence, so as not to make some youth become indulged in it, become hooked on it, and become addicted to it because of their various consequences. Finally, Qasim.
Alaikum, sir. Salam alaikum, sir.
Alaikum salam.
I've pasted my question on the chat room anyway, but I can still read it.
Okay. Okay. Can a dreamer refute elimination? Refute how? You cannot refuse. You cannot refute. But you cannot be eliminated. If you're a dreamer, you cannot be eliminated. They would try to eliminate you. It is compulsory that people try to eliminate you, but they won't succeed. But it doesn't mean that you won't see the effect. You know, you will see that people are trying to eliminate you, but they won't succeed. Finally, Ahmed.
Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Alaikum salam.
We appreciate our prof, sir. May Almighty Allah continue to be with you, sir. Finally, the first question that brother raised before you answer Sister Qasim's question, I would like you to have another discussion. Another discussion on that issue, because most of our brothers, they still find it difficult, because some of them usually think that is for them to get married, they need bigger money. And this is affecting our youth. It's affecting us. So you need to discuss, to talk to us towards that extensively.
Okay. Can we put it to vote next week? Marriage in Islam, between the ceremony and the marriage. How expensive? Can we say this is what we want to discuss next week?
Later, sir.
So as not to forget, marriage in Islam, between the marriage and the ceremony, how expensive? Marriage in Islam. So we will discuss it next week. Approved?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Even though you said marriage is not expensive, and you are telling our sisters to ask us for 0.5 million, where should we get that? Allow Mustanio.
Have I not said something? Have I not said something to neutralize it? Will Allah not forgive everybody? So let go your daughter. It's not easy. It's not easy. It's not easy. On a very serious note, not that notwithstanding, it doesn't matter. We can still navigate. Alaikum salam. Can we go and sleep? Now, Ahmed is still raising his hand.
No, sir.
Okay. ربنا هب لنا من ازواجنا وذرياتنا قرة اعين واجعلنا للمتقين اماما. ربنا تقبل منا انك انت السميع العليم. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد ان لا اله الا انت ونستغفرك ونتوب اليك. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون.